And welcome back to another episode of the Dingbat District. That's a weird way to intro it, but we're going to stick with it. We've got a very fun one here today. Very cool people. We've got two of my very good friends. We've got Miles Francis returning back to the episode, and another very good friend of mine, a newer friend. We've got Lauren Upchurch coming to the channel. Thank y'all so much for coming out, guys. If y'all will go ahead and plug and promote y'all stuff real quick so we can get that shown to the viewers, and then we'll go ahead and go in.
Cool. Lauren, please, after you, tell them about Denton Comedy Spot.
Hi, I'm Lauren Upchurch. I'm owner of Denton Comedy Spot. Just got it started back in May. Denton's been lacking, well, I won't say lacking comedy by any means. Maybe a more organized version
It's been lacking
of it.
Structure.
Yeah, and
it's
so
had all the people there. It just needed the place.
For sure. And just my background is improv more so than stand-up, but I've always been a huge fan of comedy, period. You know, love laughing, because who doesn't? You got to be a weirdo. But anyways, just I get tired of driving so far. You know, I've been living in Denton for 5 years. Actually, before that, I was even further out in the Sherman area. And, But I've been doing classes, you know, DCC. Well, it was DCH at the time. And even from Denton to McKinney, you know, that's still an hour. I still go to Comedy Arena a lot. But
how's it been recently? Actually, I'm sorry. Before I do that,
I'll
my ADHD gets so bad.
No, it's cool.
Mr. Most Days off is his handle. I'd like to plug it up, but I'll let him plug it up as well. Buddy, thanks for coming out. Will you go ahead and tell the people what you've got going on at home?
Yeah, totally, dude. Stoked to be here. Go by Mr. Most Days Off everywhere. This is, my third time on the show, I believe?
I think so.
Yeah.
Did we have one of yours that got burned?
We had one where, a
So
really fun,
4.
drunken episode, too.
Yeah, dude.
That's the tragedy of that loss. But,
For a little context, if
literally
you haven't
nobody
seen that,
remembers it, not even the ones of us that recorded it that day.
So before we had beautiful Big Blake back there in the closet, in the gay closet, it was producer Gnarly Nate.
Yep.
And I told Gnarly Nate, like, hey, every time this one person brings up this one thing, I'm not going to out him, but you can figure it out. Anytime this one person brings up this one thing, i.e. his please cut it out. Please cut it out of the episode. And he's like, yeah, sure, 100%. And he made me drive all the way to Denton to go get all of it so I could start working on it. And as soon as I get all the way to Denton, a 45-minute drive, traffic terrible. It's a Thursday afternoon. I cancel an appointment for work to get money to go get this stuff. And I pay him money, and he goes, oh, hey, by the way, I didn't cut any of that out.
How much did you pay that guy per hour, by the way?
I took it back. It was what was it? I think it was $50 per episode.
You paid him like $500, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no, it was $100 per episode.
I really wanted Blake to be like, that guy was getting paid.
Yeah. You're getting
No, that's
paid?
Like, I get room and board. I live in this closet.
you wanted him to do it, and he did it. I don't know if we want to bring that up, but no, I just look at this guy and go, well, I can't pay you, and you're fired. Like, I was standing in his kitchen, like, of his familial home where he grew up. And I was
But
like,
he kind of fired himself in that situation,
oh,
it sounds like.
100%.
I mean,
his car had also just blown up, so it was kind of like a mutual firing because I wasn't going to go pick him up.
dude, like, if you ever, like, here's a pro tip. If you're working a really shitty job and you just don't like it, like, you can quit by just, like, not showing up for a few days, and there's a chance you'll get paid for part of the time that you weren't there. Like, they might just not realize it. Like, the same amount of productivity was being done. So they're like, yeah, totally.
Blake, you're not allowed to do that. You're about to move into my house so I can find you. I know where you're going to sleep. It's right there. It's where my cats sleep. You are my child. No, I'm just kidding. You're older than me, and that's weird and disrespectful. I'm sorry.
I think years ago that, like...
I was waiting for him to get on.
Yeah, I was like, silence.
You're just going to let that sit there like I actually f***ed up. Are you mad at me now?
No.
Okay.
No, he's collecting stuff to, like, retaliate later.
Yeah, no, there is an archive that he could really just f*** my
Yeah.
life up.
You do not want to see him in court. Like, he doesn't even need a lawyer. It's the one time only a judge is like, no, you're good, dude. We got
And here's the thing with his case. He could be the worst lawyer, but he has the most damning evidence on me in those archives.
irrefutable. Yeah, absolutely.
I've talked so much shit about every possible person you could think of in this scene.
Except for Miles.
Except for Miles.
Yeah, I'm the only one, I'm sure.
You already talked shit about me?
No.
You walked
I'm
in
talking
at a
about
really,
comedians.
really
I'll work
close
on it.
time.
Okay.
You don't even matter because you're not. No, I'm just kidding. No, we had you here because you're a cool lady, first thing.
Aw,
and second thing, because you're actually putting on for people that are putting on for the the rest of the people coming to comedy shows. And you actually started a new thing at Graffiti Pasta. Go check it out. We've talked about it multiple times on the channel at this point now because it's become such a fun room.
I hear it's the #1 Facebook profile picture of DFW Comics now. Like every week, just more and more people change it to that background.
Matt McElhone's been talking about that. It's like, dude, it's a thing. Yeah.
I did it before it was a thing.
Yeah. Hey, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I didn't even think of that, like, being a thing.
Right.
I like the photography, and
I forgot about this whole thing unfolding because the thing is, a lot of people came there when Graffiti Pasta started, but people like Miles and I came over from Hula Hut.
Right,
when Caleb was running that. Caleb was like, I'm going from this place, but I'm starting at another place, not starting another place. That was you. And Miles was like, okay. But the very last time you came out, and only, I think you might have still been there, but only Miles has seen me be like a in person. Do you remember when that little kid fell?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
This little fucking 4-year-old, he's just running up and down. And he's a cute kid, and I'm just watching him run back and forth, and I'm just playing on my phone. I think I'm just smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
and
probably why we were outside in Texas. It's the only reason I ever am outside in
especially
Texas.
since it was the summer. Like, we were doing a thing we had to do.
There was a reason for the sweat.
There was a mission, and we were following our orders. But he's just running back and forth, and I'm just watching this dumb little kid while I'm playing Pokemon on my phone. And I look up as he's already in midair. I didn't see the trip. I just see him floating, and I see him like, he's not putting his arms out. It was in slow motion, and just...
Not a lot of self-preservation in that one. It's just like...
Not at all. He
was falling like an anime character runs.
yeah.
He was ready for death. He hit face first, full scorpion. His legs came over his and then he just didn't move. And Miles just sees me go, like I start grabbing this kid, making sure he didn't die in front of me because I was about to throw him in the pond just in case. And I'm like, this isn't happening in front of me.
Hide the evidence. That's what he does with all the children he abducts.
Yep, that's Paxton for you.
There's a reason we worked on the foundation.
Oh, I see.
I'm John Wayne Gacy. Have I told you about that? That I went through like a serial...
Whoa.
The time he killed a kid.
This is the first time you've mentioned that.
Yeah.
As he leaves the room, yeah. Like,
There's a segue to it. But as you know, I don't know if you know this, but I got a degree in criminal justice in college.
Oh, okay.
And at the time...
That's really paying off.
No shit. No shit. I got a degree for loopholes. Like, just trying to figure out how to get out of a fucking traffic violation.
Did you at least get to buy this equipment, like using your like student loans? Like that? Did that help?
I wish, dude. No, just debt. Just debt.
No, we're using my student loans.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're riding on his credit.
That's why the rent in that closet is $1,200 a month.
Here's our idea: is I'm gonna get all of the good credit, and Blake's gonna get all the bad credit, and then we're gonna live together for the rest of our lives and ride the medium.
It's the capitalism odd couple.
Yeah.
We're technically financially gonna kill you off eventually, and you're just gonna live off of me.
Pretty much, I'm the one that's just getting constantly.
Yeah.
That's how that's going to go.
You're in the closet. Oh, where were we going? Oh, God. We really should have called this Scratch and Sniff. The ADHD
Is that the next dumb game you're going to have us try to play today? Last time you tried to get us to eat bad jelly beans. Now we're going to scratch things and hope they don't smell like your farts or something.
I was trying to write a new game the other day. Because it's so much fun to come on and have people, if they want to play the game, Miles, you if they
I was ready to play
the
the dumb game, dude. I was
I know,
just going
I
to tell you how
fucked it
dumb
up.
it was while we played
know,
it.
I know. I shouldn't have brought the jelly beans. They're still here somewhere, I
I
think.
clipped that part of you when he was explaining the game. And you're like, what the are we doing?
It was such a genuine fucking reaction. But I've been trying to write a game called One Up without, I've been trying to figure out, it's just a game show where round by round you're trying to just one-up someone's trauma, and each time you play the game, it's got a setting to it.
She already runs an open mic in Denton, Paxton. We have that already.
I believe this past Tuesday it was suicide themed.
Yeah, sorry.
That's every open mic.
Did you have the black ribbon on it?
Nah. Well, we had one that was
No, she had the...
another trauma.
Damn it, I'm trying to do the My Chemical Black Parade. Sorry. Clip that out of it. Clip the me sputtering out like a bad engine.
Well, now I can't clip it.
Yeah, draw more attention to it. That makes the editor's job a lot easier.
That makes it even better.
Don't clip it.
You know how much I want to kill myself after I fucking have to edit these episodes?
Yeah. Yes, because I watch the episodes back to try and find extra clips for you, and I want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Listening to my voice, and I'm like, oh my God, you fucking ignorant Oh.
I fucking hate you by the end of like every episode I edit.
There's really
Yeah,
3
it's
weeks
real
in
easy.
between.
It's real easy. You just show up already fucking hating both of you, and
you see my
it makes
dumb
this
fucking
whole
face.
process super simple.
Blake walks in my back door and he sees my doofus face just from the couch, and he's like, Jesus Christ. 3 weeks wasn't long enough.
He's playing PlayStation like a fucking Gen Zer, like just smoking weed.
Yeah. He's right.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
gave out
actually,
Matter-
that was like I was with you, and then you just described things I like doing.
I mean, honestly, I came into this house. I was like, okay, good. Absolutely not disappointed. The level of bachelor pad that this is.
Woo! That's the first time someone's at least spun it in a positive note.
I will say,
Hey,
dude,
I was impressed. You have hand soap in the bathroom.
I was
so
gonna say,
I give
and
you
a
points
rug.
for that.
the bathroom is
I mean,
such
the
a big
toilet seat
improvement.
was even down. I was like, what?
Oh, that was
Yeah.
me.
Miles,
I've lived with
Oh,
women.
well, yeah. I mean,
I just refuse
okay.
to use that
That makes
side
sense.
because if I pick it up, I'll forget.
I just pee on both sides of the toilet seat and then just leave it kind of halfway
equal
cocked.
opportunity.
You're the guy.
Yeah.
It's Blake's toilet.
No,
I've got my own in the back of the
100%,
house.
dude. Like, if you were here, like, my first podcast appearance on this show when
Oh,
it was
God.
the old roommate situation, that place, I'm a dude. I can pee pretty much anywhere. Like, I walked in there once, and I'm like, I'm going to go pee in your backyard. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Like, it's a huge improvement.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
that was.
yeah, that's
I think for the first time, I'm gonna on him a little bit for all the gross that happened. I like first thing. At one point, and this is just its own thing, and Miles is gonna have his thing to say, and I know it's coming.
Jesus
but
Christ.
I just, as soon as it comes out of my mouth, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
As soon as
but,
this episode's over, you're gonna be like, yeah, everything I said.
no, I don't f***ing care. Dante.
That last hour and a half, yeah, just chop all that.
What's gonna happen? Dante's gonna fly from Wisconsin to come and get me. I change the locks.
No, dude, Dante was actually the kid we were talking about earlier who just straight up face planted while he was driving. You're fine.
No, but like, there was one point where my mom was over here, and he knew my mom was coming. So like, I told him prior to that.
Say that
happening,
again slower.
Shut up.
The
I know
thing
you
is,
too well. I, like,
My mind already went there, but hey, he's.
it's
there
just
to
because
say
he's
it, so.
infatuated with my mom.
Yeah. You
I-
see that picture behind you?
Oh.
That's his mom.
Yeah, dude.
That's no, my mom is not Farrah Fawcett.
I mean, I do see a little resemblance, maybe.
Yeah. You met my mom?
you,
No, I haven't.
Oh, to me? I don't know. I wish I had her butt chin. She's got a manlier chin than
Her
I do. Though. Why do you
butt
think I
chin?
have a beard?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I guess I see it there.
I've honestly
never
been staring at this
inspected that
poster
close.
for like half an hour
Good
and
for
have
you
not
for
realized she has a
actually looking
face.
at her
But,
face,
you know,
yeah.
that's a whole...
Yeah, I've spent enough time looking at the nipples to where I've had to go to other places. It's like when you watch
get
too much
bored.
porn, so you got to restart over. You just go to Google and type in boobs again.
You're like-
Sorry.
get-
I'm over here. Yeah, I know. It's like watching too much
I'm
porn.
going through it
I-
right now.
You ever have
Right.
to like ask ChatGPT to help you find a new fetish? You're like, I'm out of the old ones.
What are people getting into these
Yeah.
days?
Honestly, if it's not cartoon, I'm not into it. So
yeah.
I like the.
This
hentai.
does bring up a funny thing because as I was walking into my bathroom, you threw this out there like it wasn't going to be a thing. But you brought up that you went to porn star karaoke. Like we weren't going to immediately bring that up on this episode.
Yeah.
So can
Yeah.
we hear about porn star karaoke in LA, please?
Yeah.
Please,
so-
for the love of God.
Okay, it gets pretty good. I'm gonna try not to ruin it with being too wordy, but here we go. So back in like 2005, I lived in LA for a couple years.
Very cool. Before
just-
it became a hellhole.
No, it's always been.
okay.
Yeah. I mean, the place is cool. The people I'm not so hot on, but anyways, obviously I'm back here. So, and I have a Texas tattoo. Yeah. So, anyways, so there was this one time that a friend of mine from Dallas was out visiting some family out that way, and we got together and we went to. I lived in Glendale and was close to a place called Bigfoot Lodge, a bar. It was actually featured in the Jim Carrey movie Yes Man, but super fun place. And so she and I went out there to hang out, and like they had stuff going on. Well, you know, come to find out, it's like industry convention week for the porn star industry.
Never been that lucky.
Yeah.
I've never once been that fucking lucky in my
So
life.
yeah, so my friend, she strikes up a conversation with this guy. It turns out he's a porn producer from North Carolina, and
That's
yeah,
where all
His
the
name is
grades come
Sleazy
from.
Jim.
Yeah.
Or Sleazy Steve.
it was
It's
like
always Sleazy
it was
something.
Michael. He left off the sleazy part, but you know, I'm
For
sure it's
business
implies.
transactions. When
If
you
you're
I'm sure it's
Michael, you
implied.
usually have to go by Big Mike in that industry. It doesn't matter.
Unless you're humble. Then you're just regular Mike.
Well, either way, I don't know. He just at some point, I guess things were getting boring or something at Bigfoot, whatever. But he was like, "Hey, we're gonna go to porn star karaoke. Do y'all want to come out with us?" And
such a big
so
step.
my
Kinda
in my
boring.
mind.
You want to go see strippers?
Do they call it porn star karaoke? though? Like,
Okay, so this was my question. I'm like, okay, are they naked and while they're singing, or
they hit that's the time you go for the high C.
or is it like just So it turns out it was just like fully clothed porn stars and
Jenna Jameson and not her light.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
if I'm a
it
porn
was
producer-
karaoke attended by porn star like industry folk.
I bet they got so many people out that night.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I'm really
it was
wondering,
fun.
like, did the porn producer actually be like, "Hey, you come into porn star karaoke," or were they just like karaoke, but you knew in your head like this?
No,
is porn
he said
star.
porn star karaoke.
Okay,
yeah,
that's
it was explicit.
He
and,
knows how to
like,
produce.
He's
know.
not a porn star. He's a porn producer.
Yeah,
He's
it's
guy
different.
who knows
yeah.
marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, if you're gonna have porn stars there, I'm not putting that on the thing. Like that's gonna be the biggest thing on the flat. Porn stars from top corner to bottom corner.
You don't even care what they're doing. It just says Caro. Like you ran out of space for the Okie.
Yeah, if it's just karaoke, it's just at that point. Like, who wants to f***ing go to that?
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ!
So we
Old
get
library
there,
bar.
and he introduces me to his entourage, and obviously a bunch of interesting people, but the diamond of this entourage was
Is her name Diamond?
No, it was Little Diva. Little Diva was a black little person.
Nice job nailing that, by the way. Good job.
I would have said Bridget.
Well, I can use
Way to
that.
put that up. There's no way that is in the list of things that you can't post on. No one's that f***ing descriptive.
So, this woman I have so much respect for. She is obviously living her best life. She, had this great, huge smile on her face. She had this little cabbie hat that she cut the top out of and had this big ponytail coming out of, So she
So
had
she could
the
get an extra
attitude.
inch or two.
No, she...
I'm legally
Whatever.
4'8".
No,
with a ponytail on 5 foot.
No, I don't think she was even 4'8". Seriously.
What song did she go with?
Well, the thing is, I don't know.
She sang herself.
Nobody even, none of my group actually, participated in the karaoke part. But what was funny is they actually had dancing, on breaks between karaoke.
Like a dance battle type of situation?
No.
or-
Just dancing on the dance floor.
Oh, okay, just intermission dancing.
Yeah, intermission, exactly.
all right.
And then
exactly.
Little Lies turned on, and she knew it was her turn.
She went up to the tallest guy on the dance floor.
Of course, they always do.
Prison rules.
Yeah.
Trying to make an average kid.
She's up. No, and this guy was extra tall already, and so she came up to his kneecaps, and
she did.
She still needs a stepladder.
No, because also she was telling me stories she's like, oh yeah, I just find some dude that'll let me stay at his place.
She's a couch surfer.
Well, yeah, and she's a nudist, and she is very
What's
proud.
her name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Paxton's got a couch.
Yeah.
You
Little
cool with
diva.
cats?
No, dude, seriously, I've Googled looking for her and some of the stuff because she was so fun. But she's like, oh yeah, I just find some random guy that let me crash at their place, and then I'm walking around naked with a bucket of chicken, and she fucking leans into it, man. And I'm like, dude, I have so much respect, and she's my idol, dude. But
As soon as Blake moves in, you just hear the door slightly open.
yeah. Well, and any guy that she propositions, obviously you're already looking her up on y'all are Googling her hey,
I forgot Little Diva until you said naked and chicken. Then I remembered Little Diva. You hadn't said it again. I forced my brain to do some extra engineering. Remember that.
Just she was okay. So she was such a big part of that because also later in the bathroom, went to the bathroom. She was in there. She was like, hey, can you help me with my top? And at which point I realized she had fashioned a tube top
Two
and
pieces
skirt
of doll
out
clothing.
of a hotel towel. She had cut it in half. It was just
I think you meant
knotted
washcloth, but we
under
understand
the-
we're showing it.
She basically has made her own ABC clothing parties. Have y'all seen this? Anything but clothes, where you just
Anything
make
but-
something out of clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like something I would.
They're pretty
I'm
kick-ass.
a seamstress, so
They're
like,
pretty
I-
cool,
I-
except for
I-
you get a
I'm
lot more
intrigued by
brave people than cool people.
Yeah, a lot of people that are like more like exhibitionists than seamstress. Yeah.
You know, you should be wearing a fucking tunic.
So, anyways, at some point, of course, Ron Jeremy shows up, and
I forgot that you.
and Michael, sleazy Michael, we don't know, but Michael knows him. So me
old
and my
Michael.
friend and Michael all get invited
Damn
out
it.
to the car,
Damn it.
and we're like, I say I'm naturally stoned, so I don't like participate in the smoking, but like we're all
It was
just
in the air.
smoking out, and I swear to God, I could be remembering this wrong, but I swear Ron Jeremy had one of those green VW bugs, like when they just came out with the new style, and had the little,
That was just for
the-
his dick.
Well, you know, they
he
had
drove
the
in a
little
full-size
flower vase,
vehicle.
like the little flower vase in it. I'm like, that is not what I pictured.
See,
you
that's
know?
exactly what I
But
pictured
maybe-
for Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
When you have
yeah,
the biggest dick in the
You
world,
can
you
drive
can do whatever the
anything.
fuck
He's
you
the only
want.
dude that can get fucked on a moped. Like, he's fine.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious that you bring up a moped, because I just started talking to a friend I hadn't talked to since college, and he was the dude that I always partied with, because I wasn't a big go to the bar, go to big parties or anything. He was the kind of guy that owned a house off campus, and we would just cook out. I'd
House
usually,
parties.
Yeah,
Yeah.
small kickbacks. Like it would be
Yeah.
6 people at most. They were all the people I knew. He was a hunting and fishing guide, so he always had cool like food to cook. So we were always like, if you've ever heard of sandhill crane, it's called the ribeye in the sky because it's the best piece of meat. And he gave me that for free because I would bring beer with me sometimes, and then if he had chores, I'd help him like with the chores. He was the cool Zach Wall is the coolest guy in the world. Look up Zach Wall on Facebook if you ever want to go hunting. He still does hunting and guide trips out in West Texas.
Does he know any black midgets?
Legit.
He's a midget, so like if he's in the community center, like he's like 5 foot, so he's the biggest of the small. So
Uh-oh.
he could run that field. But he's just the coolest guy ever, and he's the only person I've ever known to A, have a moped, and B, you're like, I can't make fun of you. I can't make fun of you because it just works. You see him sitting on top of 2 cases of beer on his moped riding home. You're like, is that fucking Zach? And you go, meep, meep. Later, fuckface. Like, this is the type of dude where, like, we'd always go and hang out when we were both hung over. We'd just drink and just hair of the dog, keep going the Sunday mornings during football. And just, we would never talk to each other. We'd just sit there and watch football silently like best friends do. And we were sitting there, and he's wearing a weird hat I've never seen him wear. And I could tell that he's checking out the hat. I keep seeing him look up at his own brim of his hat. And he turns to me and goes, I swear to God, I'm not a goat fucker. This dude is the funniest. Miles knows this, and every comic knows this, in that no matter how funny I could be, there's always one person that you know that would just be way better at it than I could ever be. Zach is that fucking guy. He's so fucking funny. But you brought up the moped.
I think that's most of the people in your life, actually. Now that I think about it.
I'm just brave.
Yeah.
I'm brave like a fat girl wearing a 2-piece bikini. That's
Yeah. You don't have that sense that you're supposed to have when you get on stage where you're like, oh, no, I shouldn't be here right now.
Do you hate this as much as I do, guys?
Oh man.
Honestly, I need to give you some ups too, because since going to Graffiti Pasta, I don't know what happened where I'm so comfortable there, but every time I have a new bit, it's because I'm just going fucking hog wild at your mic.
Yay.
It's the best place to work because it's a fucking kill box. Y'all really need to go check out a Graffiti Pasta show, even if it's just a mic on Tuesday nights. It is an
Or
awesome
there is
place.
a show this weekend that you could theoretically, two of them specifically, that you could check out instead of do the open mic too. The open mic's great.
Right,
You'll
but
see-
also go to the Friday, Saturday shows so you can pay them.
Yes.
I believe there's like
money
regularly.
does help me keep it going.
Money is important. Yeah.
Please leave donations.
It's every Saturday night, right? Every Saturday.
Generally, every Saturday night. That's what I'm doing for now.
Yeah.
Minus my major holiday weekends. Like, I'm not gonna fight with Denton Town Square doing Day of the Dead festival.
Sure.
For
Smart.
Halloween,
Honestly,
stuff like
smart.
that, so
That's tough.
and I
Just
like
like
a
honestly,
break
I
every
feel like
so
most
often,
mics
yeah.
that run on Monday should just give up and wave the white flag to Monday Night Football. Like
Oh,
honestly,
ooh, yeah, that's
It's
true.
gonna suck here for a minute, but there are 2 Monday night mics that I will always give their props. Despite even, like, I'm saying this in a positive manner, even though it's going to sound shitty. 1851, when they...
Great mic.
It's a great mic, and they rarely have a crowd, in all honesty, but it's a Monday night mic, so you never expect a crowd. But you get there, there's...
And let's be just calling a spade a spade. This is not a bar that is going to be affected by Monday Night Football. Nobody that attends that on a regular basis is just like, sure do hope who the Buccaneers win tonight. Like, that just isn't a thing there.
In fact, it's hilarious because when it's football season, that's every gay man's first joke. It's like, you never thought they'd put on football at a gay bar, did you? It's just in that corner, though. But that's a great one, even though, like... Maybe at best. And once again, I'm not shitting on them because it's tough as it is to get people out on a Monday night. But they get 8 people, but they get 8 of the most receptive crowd members of all time. It's a cool, weird fashion in that it's not a stage, but it's a catwalk. Like, you've got the ability to start working and, like, learning how to maneuver in a different setting.
Every time I've been there for a show or for a mic, be it a stand-up show or a variety show or whatever, one of the most supportive audiences ever. And like they will both tell you if they don't like something, but they will 100% get on board. I've got a applause break on a joke that I tell regularly that I was very, great joke. I love it, but like usually gets a laugh. This got like
was it 7-Eleven?
No. It was a joke about it basically is pro going to therapy. Is like the end of it, which you can imagine at a place like 1851. Everybody's gonna be like, oh yeah, we all did that.
Do you want my therapist? He's a great guy. I've known him since I was 10.
100%.
Oh, so that reminds me in that we've never talked about this, and I brought it up to my mom recently. Shut up.
Yeah, where is this going?
Was there another mic?
That's so funny, Paxton, because when your mom and I are together, we never talk about you.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of talking, to be fair. Yeah, you can't get a word in edgewise on Wendy. She's a champ.
I have my secrets to getting her mouth shut.
She had brought up, she didn't go to this, but she had brought up the mic that we had went to Monday night in Roanoke at Benjamin's Pizza that one time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were...
Yeah, I remember that. That was a weird but fun time.
She told me to go pitch things to that, and I was like, that's not a bad idea, but I don't know if I have the time right now to go pitch something else, unless it's like maybe a one-off show, even. Mm-hmm. And then I started thinking about it, like, oh, yeah, we've done Benjamin's Pizza and Pasta, and it's crazy to me in the way that ended, because me, you, and he wasn't there, but Cody Swindell got approached by a church to do a church show,
that.
And it was just after you had done your 7-Eleven bit. I don't know if you want to relay that, but it is a bit that it is. You would not expect a church crowd to be like, "You're funny."
I have a joke that basically the end of the joke is the Lord is silly, haha, and like he doesn't exist sort of way, not in like Bible is magic, like. But this church group was like way on board with it, so
I think it was also because we were laughing at the fact that one lady in that group just shitted on the first guy.
Yeah,
just
100%.
Absolutely, like he opened his mouth to her and just like he was a pompous douchebag, and I've never seen him again, but I don't remember his name, so I can't even bring him up. But he was just like flexing. He was this overly bravado, like Dice. He was like a Filipino Andrew Dice Clay.
Yes.
And he went to this lady like, "Hey, what's going on?" She's like, "Shut up!" And he was like,
and he's obnoxious, dude. I was on a show with that person. I'm not gonna name names. I don't want that beef. Honestly,
you know his name?
I do know his name.
That sucks. That's gross.
It's mostly because of this other show, but
Right.
I did this show basically where we got booked for guest spots, both of us, and he went on right before me, and all he did was like mime. Or I don't know, I guess like
pantomime,
some sort of like not actually performing performance to all of Vanilla Ice. Like use the Ice Ice Baby as his walk-up intro. It just never stopped. He just kept
DJ,
going
hit it
the whole time, and like he never spoke an actual word. It was all miming type of jokes, but it just sucked the energy out of the room entirely, and like everybody, like the host literally had to like basically like kick him off stage. They're like, all right, we're sorry we let that go on for how long is Ice Ice Baby? However long that track
About
lasts.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
2.5 minutes.
Which,
Jesus
don't
Christ.
get me wrong. If if you're a white person in need of a rap karaoke choice, like that's probably the only one. But
Was that at TK's?
It was at TK's.
Yeah, because I was gonna say there's only one place that lets him go.
Yep.
And it's because he's a big spender there. Don't remember his name, but you're so lucky.
Yeah. What's in
Yeah,
the
dude.
bowl, bitch?
And that's the sad truth about a lot of comedy is if you can bring money to the bar,
If you can bring people, money, or drugs, you're in.
yeah, honestly, like you don't really have to be funny to be successful in this
And
industry.
if I had more money, I'd bring more drugs. I
Yeah.
swear. I promise, guys.
Dude, I always have a lot of drugs when I leave my house, but by the time I get to where they're going, they all disappear. I'm just like, how do I get money out of this? Like,
Where did that go?
I don't understand the situation. I just don't understand economics, I think, is my problem.
Where did that go? But also, why is
They
the sky
trickle
purple
up
now?
more than they trickle down is the weird thing.
Oh, so I was thinking about this earlier. What's the worst first date y'all can remember having? Because this is always something I like. I don't think I have a whole. Well, no, I have one. I remember a chick basically auctioned me to go take her to the newest Batman movie, and then told me right after the movie, like, "Hey, I just wanted to see the movie."
Circa which Batman era are
The
we referring
newest
to?
one.
Like, the Batman?
The Batman.
Oh, so this is a pretty recent trauma you're having.
Yeah, and it was kind of a dodged bullet because she was very dead set on, like, I didn't do anything wrong. I was like, you just made me spend the last bit of every bit I had to take you
Yeah.
to a movie. I'd already seen this movie, and I just wanted to hang out with you. And you made me take you on a date, you fucking bitch.
To
I
be-
bought a large popcorn, you
It could be
motherfucker.
worse, dude. It could have been during the
I
Dark
feel
Knight
like that happens
Rises.
a
Like,
lot.
that would have been a way worse fate.
No, if I had a vagina, I completely date for meals. I would do that. I would
I
do
think that
meal
happens a
spots
lot.
now
I
if
don't
it
do that, but, you know.
if meal spots were a thing. I'd do meal spots for comedy, and if fucking pussy spots for meals were a thing, I'd do that too.
That's
I
been
get
my,
it.
That's been my last 3 dates. It's like,
Just
That's how he's paying for the closet this month.
yeah.
those women just need to know. You need to go for a guy that's gonna chase you. Don't come after me because then I just wasted a date and a night off and money. At that
Yeah.
point, like I've got $15, and when I have $15, I'm excited that I get to go to QT. Like you can't take that from me. That's all I have.
I don't do.
QT has up their game for what it's worth. $15 will go a pretty good amount of ways at
Yeah.
a QT.
Nice little hot dog too. Not hot dog for $2 and then
Condiment
sweets for
bar,
the rest.
Condiment bar. You can go ham on the extras.
I was talking about Ron Jeremy. You're correct, Lauren.
Yeah, I don't do the sushi bar on the first date anymore.
Oh, was that the
could-
joke I thought you were doing? Oh no, you were just saying because it's expensive. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's expensive.
I went to fish. I was thinking like Afro Man.
Dude, you can go way too deep on sushi way too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
I've always wanted to go to revolving sushi, but
That
I
place
eat
is
like a
dope.
fat
That
pig
place is
boy.
dope. Yeah, you know,
sushi places.
I person with a former eating disorder, I have a hard time with like all you can eat buffets, but there's something about knowing that I'm paying for every plate that like the frugalness in me can overcome like that. Like I can be like, nope, that's another $3. You're not actually that hungry. You don't need another California roll.
We are talking about the actual food now, right?
I got a weird phobia of both.
See, I'm so trash that like sushi is still one of those things. Even when I go get it from the store, like when I go get Walmart sushi, it's still a big thing.
You
and I
shouldn't
do it.
do that in general, honestly. Like, just don't.
I worked
Kroger
at HEB.
sushi, I'm cool with
Yeah,
it.
Kroger's
Kroger
good.
sushi is good.
Kroger's the
I
shit.
worked at
HEB if you're in the right area.
That's the thing is, I worked at an HEB in college, so I was dead set on that sushi, and now I get everywhere else. And even like I went to
Did you notice when you worked at the HEB that there was a sushi chef that they paid money to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
there to cut sushi?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that person at Walmart?
just a guy named Kyle.
yeah, dude. You basically are the sushi chef at a Walmart.
What do you
That guy looks
recommend?
like you.
Going somewhere else.
Yeah.
Get something.
Yeah.
Do you want a sandwich? I can make you a sandwich.
Dude, like he'd be the sushi chef and he'd be making the roll with the same like butter knife that he used with mayo on the sub he just made. Like,
Konnichiwa. Nah. No, I'm good. Never mind.
Konnichi mayonnaise, bro. Like, let's go.
Chiba, motherfucker.
That guy's not allowed to touch my fucking sandwich. No,
You
like,
don't even want. You're right. You shouldn't even be getting a sandwich from Walmart. So why the hell are you getting sushi from a
Except-
Walmart?
Except
You know, you're saying the words correctly. You're just making bad choices, Paxton.
I'm broke. I keep paying Blake to do what he does exponentially well, and when I'm done paying him, I'm left with nothing.
Yeah, that's why I have to move in.
Yeah, I've been preying
Dude,
off of factor
you
meals.
gotta start negging him a little. Like, start being like, "Hey, bro, the quality of this podcast has gotten kind of bad recently. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay you."
No,
as much
because
as...
he's short fused like I am, and he might leave. If I don't keep stroking his dick, he might go.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's such a you thing to do too.
Yeah,
now that I know you so well, that
just
you
go
would
over
live here still and leave my podcast.
Just go to
and
the podcast.
No, you wouldn't. You and I both know you wouldn't do
Yeah.
that right now.
No.
If we want to keep
that might
talking
be the worst
shit,
bluff I've ever heard in my life.
yeah, if we want to keep talking shit. I texted you the other day that he talked shit about us on his podcast, and you were about ready to go over there with a knife.
No, I didn't. You were the one that was pissed off. I didn't care. I thought it was funny.
All right.
You didn't even tell me what he said because I'm not gonna.
Dude, let's talk about it right now. What do you
Yeah,
say?
I'm not gonna sit there for an hour and watch that god awful podcast.
That was part of it. Is I couldn't find the timestamp. Otherwise, I would have sent it to you. But they were saying because there was one episode where we tried something different, and we were okay with doing that episode differently because showed up an hour late and kept saying even though we told him to stop.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you were in black and white, maybe he thought you were like in a different time.
Well, that was also my third podcast I'd ever produced.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like came like 45 minutes early and sat down while I was
No, he
setting
wasn't
up.
early. He was on time.
No, he came early.
so one was early, one was late, is what
Yeah.
you're getting at.
Yeah, so like
And that
there
made
was
it even worse
there
for
was
both.
90 minutes that there was just one of us. Well,
Yeah. Well, and then
bringing it back
he
to him,
gave-
then he sat in and fucking ruined
Yeah.
that because like I just wanted the episode to be me and
Therapy earlier. It seems like you have a lot of things in your past that are kind of haunting you. You might need to work on that.
I mean, that seems just like comedy.
I'm in
so
a
anyway.
am in a great place where I like
I
to
just
do 6
assumed.
months on and 6 months off, and right now I'm sitting at 18 months off, and I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. It's no, I'm not. It's so expensive.
It's too expensive.
I was gonna
250
say,
bucks a month, and that's cheap. And that's
and
me
honestly, like
lying.
half the time, I'm like, I think I'm more qualified than you than this.
I said that to my last person in that by the end of our sessions together, like I think I went to him for 2 or 3 months, and in our very last session, I go, dude, I think we just became friends. Like I think that's all that happened. He was a younger black guy. I was like, this guy's awesome, and then he started telling me about his life. I'm like,
You're just getting perspective from a different worldview. That's what friendship is.
Yeah.
Like,
I
yeah.
was like, no, I need you to dive deep. And like, we were with BetterHelp. You're sanctioned for like 55 minutes of a call time, technically an hour, but you know.
See, I specifically really can't, like, I've never tried that company, but, like, the fact
wouldn't
that they
recommend it.
offer, like, therapy by text to me is just like, wow, bro, you have really, like, streamlined the scam to, like, an efficient manner.
What are you
like,
gonna do? Text your therapist, hey, I'm thinking about killing myself. What are they gonna
Yeah,
do? Send you
right?
the 1-800 number? Like,
Sorry, I'm driving right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
it's more
yeah,
like
you
the
get an
911
auto
or
response. It's
something,
like,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
respond to this if it's an emergency.
It is. I just told you I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah, there's a number for this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but like they just
Or it's like on a date, text in a minute, or, you know, whatever you get response. Like, you don't actually read it. It's terrible.
Yeah, and like that was another thing was I never officially like flat out asked him because I was already like in my mind I was getting ready to dump him for lack of better terms, and I had like tiptoed around the question of are you licensed to do this? Because I don't think he was. I'm pretty
See, and
sure
that's
he wasn't
such a
licensed to be a
weird-
therapist. I think he was just a good guy.
Such a weird predicament
Where
for you
did
to
you
be in that
find
you're
him
paying for
through?
this.
Better help.
Okay.
He was a guy that would do Fridays at 10 a.m. because that's what I really wanted. Because the therapist I had before him was an excellent therapist, but he would only do 6 a.m. on Saturday mornings, and I said,
What?
"Fuck you!
Ooh.
You're gonna get the worst side of me."
Yeah, I might be like still like playing Madden at 6 a.m. on a Saturday.
The part of it was he was in South Carolina, so like he was an older dude, and he was setting up for 8 a.m. appointments for older people. So that made sense. But 6
But you
a.m.
didn't fit
in
his
Texas-
demographic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Paxton, it feels like you just need to find an elderly friend, like potentially like volunteer at a nursing home.
Go
Like,
to the VA.
Miles, this is your third time on the episode. Who do you think you are?
hell yeah, dude. Oh no, that's great.
I know. One of our favorite returning guests. by the way.
For sure.
You're trying to get me in 3 times before I have my like foot in the grave. I get it. That makes sense.
I mean, relatively speaking, Zach Sprung went out, and you're coming up.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
I don't know the fucking dead life of expiration date on comics, but you know it's definitely shorter than regular people.
Oh, 100%, dude. And I'm definitely pushing the like boundary. Like there's like I'm of the age where I'm not as like an old comic yet, but like elderly comic, which we
Right.
have some great ones on the scene. But like I'm pushing that. I've got like the one streak of gray hair now, so like I do have my foot in like that pool.
You see, I wouldn't say you're pushing it though, because you aren't one of these dudes doing coke. You're doing all the natural drugs.
As
That's
much
why
as
you're
possible.
That's also why you're fun and not a pain in the ass to be around. Oh God, like I look back on my younger version. I'm like, how could you not tell when people were on coke? Now I just walk into a room like, oh God.
Yeah, there's definitely like the type of people that are on coke all the time on our scene, and it can get very frustrating.
Hey man, do you want to buy a microwave?
You're thinking of our meth addicted brethren,
Yeah.
actually.
I rebuilt a microwave. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Stop rebuilding. I'm buying. They're $20. Fucking crazy, Steve.
Cokeheads will like sell you some stock at a really ridiculously low rate. Like,
Hey, have you heard about this
meth
police
heads
stock?
are like pulling the copper wiring out of your air conditioning.
I've been on these day trading stocks, man, and you gotta get into day trading with me. Follow me, and then I'll follow my guy. And oh God,
And that's hilarious.
that was
That's
our
why they do
whole-
comedy.
that was our whole football team at Tarleton. Was just all cokeheads, and they were like, "You gotta get into day trading." I'm like, "Will you just play football? We need wins." Stop it!
Focus.
Stop trying to be cokeheads that are making money, and fucking wait a couple years, keep failing, and then you'll get paid by NAIA anyways.
Yeah, how about you take our football team to the moon, dude? Like, let's go.
It was so funny. We accidentally had like basically a last chance U. Have you heard this term before in football? They'll have a college that
documentary.
it's a
You
they
as
do have
in
a
university.
docuseries.
Docuseries, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But what they do is they take the kids that are very athletic, that have had academic issues, personal issues, or even like oftentimes arrests and shit like that from these D1 schools, and they'll take them into this DU function and trying to make them better people. And then just kind of funnel their talent. But what it really does is fuck every single other person in D2
In that division.
football. They're like every game is like 106 to
Yeah.
5. And you're like, how'd they get 5? You're like, we just gave them 5. They were gonna lose.
Yeah, that's when like we only played 7 guys. We didn't want to risk injury.
We turned it to 7 on 7, and they
Yeah.
just stayed with 11, and it worked.
Like legally speaking, you have to have 11 on the field, but they just get like 4 people on each sideline just laying flat, like they're being arrested.
They just
like get
stand
that
up.
pose you're familiar with.
What's this formation called with 4 guys standing in the backfield not doing anything, looking at the sun? And you're like, we're winning. That's what it's called.
3 digits up.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? We never even asked about the first dates. we never
that
even
what
got
we were
back to
doing
it.
Yeah,
here?
yeah. I was like,
My ADHD is so bad,
No,
That's
100%.
okay.
especially when I drink the caffeine drink at 5 p.m.
I really don't have like a great story, but I do remember I went on a date in college with a girl that had that week driven a car through a like house.
And then she was out dating.
Yeah.
You're like, they say the best way to get
I
over
picked
it.
her up, obviously.
Oh, that'd be a fucking weird turn of events. You're like, what happened to
This
your
was
car?
like circa 2006-ish in UNT in Denton, and yeah, I this was pre-dating app, so I just like met this girl on campus. But Facebook was a thing, like just barely, and yeah, basically right before a date, like we looked her up on Facebook, and or friends of mine did, and it's just like she had pictures posters. She was like, "Oops, actually drove through the living room," and it's just like, what the fuck am I getting myself into?
What, was it her
Time out.
house or somebody else's house?
I think it was like vaguely remember. I think it was like a friend of hers house. Basically, like she had visited, and like it was the classic. You thought you were in reverse, but you weren't sort of situation. And you,
So what you're saying is you did the Facebook dive prior to the date,
yeah.
and then still went on the date.
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a chance I might get laid, dude. This girl wasn't very smart.
I was gonna say, and this didn't work out. Why? She couldn't. She had no sense of accountability, man.
I like literally it was a fine date. She wasn't as dumb as you'd expect a person that drove to her house to be. We had a good time. Honestly, went to the OG Mr. Chopsticks location in Denton, which Mr. Chopsticks still exists, and it's still fine. But it's not as great as it once was when it used to be back like where like Fry Street is essentially.
Just like Coke.
Yeah,
That's not what it used to be.
Yeah. That stuff's not even worth sniffing off a bathroom's like floor anymore, dude. Like, what are they doing? This
As
is-
someone who's been medically administered fentanyl, nothing else can touch it. That's why I just stick to weed now.
yeah,
Like I talk a lot about Coke. It's because I've never done Coke.
you just skip straight to the hard stuff.
Yeah, I will admit that a couple times I snorted pre-workout. The couple times I wanted to do Coke, because I knew if I
Okay.
did Coke, I would get addicted to Coke.
Yeah.
And then I had also when I was younger.
So is
and in
that why
high
you have
school
a
football,
pre-workout addiction now? Like that?
If you
I
see
saw
me,
the tubs in the kitchen, Paxton. We need to talk.
yeah, it's a problem. If you see me at the gym at 9:30 in the morning, it's a fucking nightmare.
Well, he's freebasing it now. That's what he's doing.
and
Oh, there was
so
definitely
that's
a
the
time.
slope.
Yeah.
if you're a douchebag that's listening to this, first thing, thank you for listening. And I'm sorry for the douchebag thing, but there's also a thing in the weightlifting community, as gay as that sounds, where you dry scoop your pre-workout, which is just taking all of the powder and then you drink like a shot of water. And it's supposed to like fucking ramp you up.
Because being hydrated is bad in the gym?
When you have, like, it's literally dilution.
I don't work out. I don't know if it's obvious.
You're diluting the I'm going to say toxicity, because that's really what it becomes. The toxicity becomes higher in this pre-workout the less water you have, and then you just get fucking gacked out of your mind. I like to the point where I'm pretty sure heart palpitations when I used to do this stupid shit. But
Bro, I don't say this to a lot of people, but I think it might be healthier if you just tried cocaine. Like, that sounds really bad.
I bet I would be, like, I've been tired for weeks, and I have been sleeping great. I don't know what it is, but if I got on coke, I'd be great. It's so much better of a comic.
I kind of feel the same way. There's a comic we know that is, like, addicted to energy drinks to the point that they're just popping them, like, 4 or 5 a day.
I'd do that.
Again, not a recommendation. I just throw out there lightly. Cocaine might be the healthier option. Like, it's possible that that's going to do less damage. Again, I haven't done the math. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or a drug dealer. But I think that there's a good chance that a little bit of cocaine every day is healthier than like 4 energy drinks.
A little bit of cocaine a day. Yeah. A little bit of cocaine a day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah, I'm starting to hear Mary Poppins.
They used to put it in everyday products, and honestly, I kind of feel like that's what like the whole like MAGA movement should be about. Like, let's just get cocaine back in like our actual Coca-Cola again.
If you promised me that you brought back my Mimi's cocaine, I might start. But fentanyl's in there, man. Just 1 grain kills people, and since I've done it correctly, and I can say it's amazing, it is the greatest thing in the world. Man, I just don't want to even risk it.
Paxton's gonna lose his mind when he loses his virginity, y'all. It's gonna be wild. I want to come back on that episode after. See the look on his face.
It's gonna be a long time. No, dude. It is like to the point where I probably need to go to like some sort of Narcotics Anonymous after saying this. But it is, you feel warm, like you're getting hugged by 30 people you've loved your whole life. Like Hank Aaron just hugged me out of nowhere. Like, Hank Aaron, I thought you were dead.
Wow.
I remember the nurses too, because this was after, if anyone remembers the story about me boxing, I dislocated my shoulder and they had to take me to the hospital to get it reset. And because it was out for long enough, they needed to give me an anesthetic to get my muscles to calm down. And it was fentanyl. And it is immediate. It is the greatest feeling. Like, the last thing I remember before I went out was, all right, we're going to pop your shoulder back in. He grabs my arm and he goes, 3, and towel whips it. I was like, oh, what about 2 and 1, man? I'm like, what the fuck? Your bedside manner is dog shit.
Your fentanyl kills your ability to count.
Yeah. And that's when I realized it was just being scared, because as soon as he did it, I was like, oh, I don't feel it at all. Yeah. And then I blacked out a little bit. And then as soon as I came back to 30 minutes later, probably, the nurses were like, you didn't go out, which is, first thing, never seen that before. You took a lot of fentanyl to not be under. I was like, oh, yeah? Is that a thing? Like,
that's fun.
Oh, it's something you write home about when you work here. But also, you were funny. I go, what? And I go, yeah, you did like a set. And this was before I did stand-up or anything.
Right, they mentioned that you were funny. We knew that.
Yeah, no, 100%. Before I thought I was good. And then I became so bad. They're like, yeah, you were trying to tell jokes and shit. And, like, we couldn't believe it. None of us were laughing, but like...
But we recognized a setup and a punchline. It was wild, yeah.
You had all the formulaity there. We were shocked. And then there was also a sheriff's deputy trying to get me to sign my ticket there. I was like, I can't be liable right now. There's no way you can make me sign this ticket right now.
Yeah,
while I'm
I will not sign anything unless you give me some fentanyl.
Yeah, I want more. Please. Oh. So
don't worry, I don't really have any bad dates. I mean, nothing too bad. I mean, there was a Bumble
having
date,
tits
maybe.
is a blessing, isn't it?
I've never had a bad date. To be honest, it's not great. They get pretty sweaty.
Well, I mean,
go over a speed bump and they hit you in the face.
The worst I can remember, like, is maybe a few years ago. There was a Bumble date. I met some guy, and just at a restaurant. It was middle of the day, because I guess COVID, nobody was really doing stuff as much as they were before or whatever. Anyways, so like I hang out. We're eating at the bar together, and like, I don't know, it just turns out he has this really weird sense of humor that I'm not like jiving with. And then
And now you host an open mic.
yeah.
The duality of man is crazy.
Oh, that's how you met Caleb. That's cool.
The main thing is that he was like, oh, well, I got to go. And it's like he waited for me to follow him out, even though I'd actually just gotten my food. Because I got there, I'd gotten there, I guess he had already been there for a while, and so maybe he had eaten already, and then, I don't know.
Weird choice.
But,
Yeah.
but
there's
just,
just a lot of
just
weird
the fact,
about that,
just
yeah.
the fact that he wanted me to walk him to his car struck me as very odd, and he almost, like in his face, I could tell there was like a hissy fit brewing, and I'm
Were you
like,
dating Nathan Lane? What the fuck?
no. Well, needless to say, like there was no second date for that, but
That might have been a serial killer.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
might have gotten away with something there.
Yeah, that did sound an awfully lot like the early part of Silence of the Lambs.
Well, she's not here. I'm gonna eat my chicken parmesan anyways and go.
I do
You wait a
remember
little
him
bit.
being into ghost hunting or something.
Oh yeah, you definitely dodged a bullet.
Yeah, and he had found all the ones he knew, so he was trying to create a new one.
Right, yeah.
And we're back to John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, what were you trying to say about burying people earlier?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So my senior year, I had basically taken all the credits I had needed to take, and I just needed a class to fill the last void of things. And I had figured out, basically, I'd looked for the coolest professor rather than find a class or anything. And there was a professor who was a retired serial killer investigator and not reporter, interrogator. That's what the word I'm looking for. So he interrogated everyone after Bundy up until, like, I think he said 5 years. So now 10 years ago. Up until 10 years ago, from Ted Bundy to 10 years ago, he had interviewed every single serial killer everyone knows. Like, he's done all the big guys. This guy's fucking cool as hell.
Wait,
And
none of the midget serial killers?
none of
Only the
midget
big
ones.
guys?
Yeah. One lady. He said they got one lady on there, and he was proud. He was real proud for her, And he got her gun. But I went to go to this class, and it was just the weirdest, most eclectic group of people. Like, I'm pretty sure half of the class thought it was Intro to How to Be a Serial Killer. Because they were there early every single day, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and it was a Thursday at 6 p.m. So, like, I rarely ever went to this class, in all honesty. But the couple times I did, the same 8 people were there waiting outside of the door already, waiting for the teacher. Like, hi, how's it going, Mr. I think his name was Mr. Jones? Professor Jones? I can't remember. But they was like sucking his dick, like trying to learn information, and they would ask way too many questions. Like, why are you trying to know these questions? Like,
Well, is this like not most people that are really in the true crime broadcast and all that stuff?
true crime has ruined it. True crime has ruined everyone because now everyone talks about murder so much.
And casually.
Like casually,
So
yeah.
casually, dude. It is like acceptable dinner conversation. Like, don't talk about like religion or politics.
Don't talk about
but you
pillaging
can-
and villages.
But like,
What were all the right words we were not saying?
I said one of them just then.
talk about a lady
Thank you.
drowning her children over turkey. Totally legit. Like, totally fine.
Have you pillaged or plundered any villages recently?
Well, now that thank you for bringing up a relevant topic. Finally,
Yeah.
no.
Taking over the Amazonian rainforest?
Well,
That could be a fun one to do.
If you want another fun story, like when you said interrogator though earlier, it made me think of the one time I made it to jury duty, like actually got called in.
Hell yeah.
See, I'm the type of person that would love to get called.
I've
to
always
jury.
wanted to get jury duty.
It's like they know not to bring me
Yeah.
in because I'm gonna be fucking there.
I'm ready for it. Dude. I'm basically gonna live the Pauly Shore movie for what it's worth. But what was your experience on jury duty?
Okay, well, thanks for asking, Miles. No, so I was living in Sherman at the time, and so I guess a much smaller population to draw from. So yeah,
Right.
I get like suckered in. But so I get to the courthouse.
It was more of a jury
I'm
home.
really well schooled in these things, not like him. But so I'm already ticked off because
cheated the whole time. You're okay.
They gave like really bad directions for parking, and so I'm like, I'm like running a few minutes late. Whatever.
He's walking. He's
Like,
guilty.
Whatever. No. So I get in the courtroom and like I find a seat up, and there's like people even in the jury box because it's a large like they're doing a large poll situation. Like there's 100 people in there.
Right, and they just
And-
select who they don't want in.
Right,
Yeah.
and so then they go through the thing of, who's got a legit excuse not to be here, and people like getting in line to go up to the bench and like discuss all that. So I'm in that jury box. I actually got a great view of the goings on in the entire courtroom, and so like I'm looking out over everything over here, and just chatting with this girl next to me, whatever, passing the time.
This girl next to the murderer.
No, okay. So like
I
third
love that
row,
orange jumpsuit.
third
I was
row
gonna wear the
in.
same thing.
third row in, on my side of the courtroom, there's this really big like Santa Claus looking dude, old guy, long white beard, long white hair, but he's dressed kind of like a biker,
Right.
So it's like if Santa was part of a
If
biker
he could
gang.
put on his cut still, he would have it on, but he can't fit into it
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. He's a big old guy, got the
North Pole's Angels.
Yeah. Well, cause, at some point he kind of, his head goes back and it's like making these snoring noises, like, and so everybody's like, oh, that's so cute. This old guy is like falling asleep in jury duty.
The trial was on December 26th.
Yeah.
So he was very tired.
Can
But
we make this quick? I'm very tired.
Yeah, no. So he like, and then he kind of comes to, and then it's like, yeah. Well, and then he just like he gets kind of stuck, in like snoring mode. Well, these people come up. He's like, hey, Santa, hey, guy, wake up. Well, he doesn't snap out of it. He's having a massive heart attack.
Oh shit!
It's
And
a death rattle. It's not a snore.
yeah, so
He didn't wanna be loud or he'd be held
finally
in
people
contempt.
are like, oh, he's not snapping out of it. There's something wrong, and you see the panic just kind of start washing over the room. And
You
like,
have to
what do we
deliver toys.
do? What do we do? And so they like kind of pull him down. Several people like pulling him down to the floor and like clearing space around him, and like somebody like goes and gets like EMTs and the entire courtroom, and of course I'm in like prime seating, like watching all this go down. EMTs coming down, I'm seeing them cut his shirt off, and they're doing the paddles and boom, and nothing. And finally like the people running the jury duty like start getting us all filed out, and I'm like, I think that guy's gone already, but they finally get us all out of the courtroom, and we're like, oh, what the hell, because
Well, we don't have to go back. The criminal died.
well, they never like said for sure what happened, but like I said, I had a pretty good idea, and so I did watch the obituaries and did find him later.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, before I get to that, I did choose to get paid $10 to go to jury duty and watch Santa Claus die.
Awesome. That's metal as
Especially after they screwed up the parking directions. I was, like I said, I was pissed from that, and then it was like, just downhill from there.
fuck.
But
You've hated Christmas ever
so
since.
yeah, if I could give it 0 stars,
She's actually Jewish now. Shabbat shalom.
But no, a week later, I found on the local newspaper, I found his picture. I don't know why I'm stuck on that fucking word, but and his obituary, and it talked about it. I mean, he sounded like such a sweet guy because he was a negotiator for the police force.
Oh,
And
really?
Yeah. So he was like kind of a beloved community figure, and it even talked about him volunteering for Toys for Tots. He was fucking Santa for Toys for
was
Tots.
Santa.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. And what's even
You watched
better,
the death of the real
what's
Santa.
even-
This is a fucking sad Dateline
what
movie.
blew my mind is
What's
they
the opposite
actually
of a miracle on
mentioned
34th Street?
they straight out mentioned that he died of a massive heart attack while at jury duty, and I'm like,
With
wow,
Lauren
that's a
Upchurch.
lot. Now,
Yeah, the picture is just Lauren in the jury box with a box of popcorn. Like, oh my god, this is fascinating.
That guy's dead.
So the one time I've been to jury duty, I watched the guy die.
That's awesome. You
fun.
kind of hit the whole thing. You got to watch a trial happen and someone died for the trial.
Well, no, it wasn't a trial, but
Oh, right.
we were getting
exonerated immediately.
They let the whole class of people go. They were like, okay, no, we're not asking
it's
any
like
of you.
there's a dramatic event. Yeah.
It's like every
We
kid
have
in middle school.
scarred
Like,
all
if
of
your-
you, so
if your teacher dies, you get a B for the year, and you don't have to go. You're just praying every day. Come on, Miss Jones, fucking kick the bucket on the way here.
Die, bitch, die.
I haven't done any of the homework. Just fucking flip your truck. She was a cunt. She taught math.
No, we got. Let me see. I was in 6th grade, I think. My class got rid of our science teacher by. We had a substitute, and somebody took the lizard and put it into the hamster cage, and the hamster ate the lizard.
Oh.
And our
Not
actual
the way
teacher.
I would have expected that.
Yeah. Apparently, those little
Little
fuckers.
hamster's like a lizard
they-
tail. Like,
yeah. Apparently, you do not want to screw around with those guys. They will.
Was it like a
Wild,
gecko or was it like a
No,
lizard?
it was a lizard.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I've got a
And
newfound
what's
respect for
great-
hamsters.
What's great is that our actual teacher found out about it secondhand at the mall. The fucking news was
I don't know,
traveling
it's pretty
far and
sus that she was
wide.
at the pet store.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Anyways,
No, it hasn't changed at all. That gecko is exactly the way it was beforehand. It just changed colors. They do that now. They're like chameleons. It's half
But,
chameleon,
yeah.
half gecko.
I think she retired pretty soon after that incident.
So I don't think I've ever actually told anyone the story except for the couple people that knew in high school. In our high school biology class, our high school teacher was cool as shit. He had a lizard and a snake. And I would never fuck with the snake because I still to this day don't fuck with snakes, but I would touch the lizard. He was cool. And one day, because there was a girl that annoyed the shit out of me, she sat right next to the snake but hated the snake. I'm like, you could just easily fix that. I hate the snake, and I sit on the opposite side of
The
the room.
reason I don't sit next to Paxton.
Yeah. Get away
I'm
from
good with
me.
snakes,
Yeah,
so
sit where you need to sit. But yeah, she was sitting right next to it, and the whole time I was like, "The snake's looking at me." You're like, "Then fucking move, stupid!" Like you're just she's causing her own problems. And then one day, I had fucking cracked the little the top of the terrarium lid, just trying to mess with her. And just see if it would poke its head out when she wasn't paying attention during that class. And then I forgot to close it. And no one for the rest of that day closed it either. And then when we got there the next day, there was a fucking huge memo sent out from the school. Like, there's a huge snake lost in the school and no one can find it. And I was like, I forgot to close Rhea's cage.
Yeah, what's the statue on that?
I'm pretty sure the reason Paxton doesn't fuck with snakes to this day is he's legally not allowed to.
It's
There's
trauma
a
and
court
regret.
order. Yeah.
I just remember back to that time, like, oh man.
Okay, here's a question because I know about you and your rats joke. So in a situation where you've got rats and snakes, which one is your friend? I would think the snake because you can at least throw it at the rat. So
The snake, for sure, because he's also rats move too quick. I don't fuck with that. They're small and I can fuck them up with my shoe, but they might run on top of my foot and then I'll have to cut it off. So my fear of rats came when I had a mouse in my house. Like I had an apartment that was right next to an open field, so a small little field mouse had gotten into my place, and I found mouse droppings at one point. And then I started to spiral because I had never been around rats or mice or anything. And then as soon as that happened and I realized that was a thing, I just went out of control to the point where I found my drug dealer that I always bought weed from. I was like, who do you know that sells Xanax? I need it right now. And then I went and took it and found out that I just needed a prescription for Xanax because I just became normal. I was like, oh, man, I was dead set to have a good night on drugs. And then now I'm just looking for a mouse and I'm calm.
I'm sorry, you the ability to be scared for empathize with the scared just went out the window as soon as you said mouse in my house and made it in a very Seussian way.
At that point, it's an invasive species.
Did you give him a cookie?
We're done.
Did you give him a cookie?
I was
too?
just about to say that, you bitch. You took it from me. Yeah, I gave him a cookie. No, he had gotten in and, oh, God, if my roommate from college would ever come back here and talk about that story, he saw the worst side of me, and he saw me when I was a blackout drunk 5 nights a week, and it was me terrified of that rat, because I don't know why I did this to myself, but I started looking up things about rats, I guess trying to game plan what would happen, and then I found out they could jump. The whole punchline of that joke is jump 3 feet in the air. Found out
Same
that's
as
true.
your inseam.
The same as the inseam in my pants. The real fear of that was this thing can jump and get on top of my bed while I'm asleep, and then it could eat my skin. And that was the whole thing that I was
I've had
spiraling.
to deal with
Do
a
they
rat
do that?
situation where they're like in my attic, and it was the most terrifying.
It just
thing.
it eats through the plaster and falls down on
seriously?
top of you.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
it makes me
Guys.
fucking shake.
I mean,
I know. I'm sorry.
am I the one with the balls here? That like I used to live out in the country, and
I'll
I
kill-
don't mind
Okay,
seeing a rat in the
I had-
country. A rat in the country is a different
Okay.
situation than a rat above you while you're sleeping.
Yeah,
That's a different
if you're
situation.
dangling one over my head like a fucking little newborn or mobile,
Dude,
that's a
I
terrifying
camp.
thing.
I can't. If I'm in a hammock and wildlife is on me, I'm like, whatever. I'm good with it because I plan that into the expectation.
Right.
But if I get into like my comfy, cozy bed with my sheets
if
and
it's
my
in my
blankie,
fucking, if it's in
I
my
woke up-
house,
okay.
this is
that's
my
not
house.
okay.
I woke up in the middle of the night when I was living out in the country, and it was because, like, I did have like 6 cats. I was a crazy cat lady at one point in my life.
You just need them out in the
Very
country, though.
But
They're like tools, like a shovel.
well, either way, there's 3 of them, and I hear them run into my room, and they're like situate themselves one on each side of my bed. So I'm like, okay, I know some
These
sort
fuckers
of
are
rodent.
summoning the devil. They are demons.
I know some sort
There's
of
actually
rodent
7 of
is.
them. And wait, or
I
5,
thought it
5.
was just a mouse because I'd only seen like just the little field mice up to that point.
Right.
But anyway, so I turn on my light. I'm like, okay, so I gotta find whatever's under my bed, and yeah, sure enough, there's a cat guarding each side. So I go get my like work gloves on because I'm gonna capture or try and capture this thing, and I kind of look around to each side, and on this far side, there's this big old rat tail hanging out this from the side, and like I have a cat that's like right there, and I don't know why.
Get it,
It's
get it, you fucking
Do your
bitch.
job.
I grab
you a salmon.
that
I don't
rat
give a
tail.
fuck.
I grab that rat tail and start pulling, drag that fucker out, and he's like, "Rah!" He's
No.
screaming because and so I grab it, and he like latches his little onto
Okay,
my
so
my
to answer your
finger.
question, yes, you do have bigger balls than both Paxton and I.
I just
And-
vomited
yeah.
and started thinking
Yeah.
about how that's how
I-
the bubonic plague started.
Yeah. I want to
But-
go put
well, that's
gloves
what the
on
gloves
right
are
now,
for.
just in case
But-
anything's in this room.
My hand-
I went and tossed him out the front door. Like,
So here's the thing: you
What's
can
the big
have
deal?
you can have my nutsack if you want them. I'll step on
Alright.
every spider anyone asked me to step on. Couldn't care less. I've grabbed a snake by its head. Rats, no man, no.
Yeah, it's different.
They're shifty. They got 4 legs. They look like this is the new punchline that I love. But they look like a squirrel with AIDS and mange. It's my favorite thing to say.
I like Bill King.
Oh fuck! I
now
wish
don't
people
get
knew
me
about
wrong. I will still scream like a little bitch if I recently had one of those big old American cockroaches like fly right.
Oh,
at
what the
me
fuck?
when
I thought
was-
you lived in the country, yo.
Well, no, that was back then. This is now like apparently Denton has a few roaches, but I got rid of.
Yeah,
I
that
got
was
rid of this fucker.
that was another problem. That now that you're moving in, Blake, I can officially tell you 5 minutes left. Jesus Christ. I've officially gotten rid of the bug problem. I've gotten an
There was a
exterminator
bug
out.
problem?
There for a little bit, and going back to shit on Dante.
Only
I
in
think
this
partially,
bedroom specifically.
It's just bed bugs,
Yeah.
nothing
Just
to
bed
worry
bugs.
about.
Not bed bugs, and we've already talked about that you're not going to use that mattress. But there were cockroaches in that room because Dante was dirty as fuck. I walked into with a roommate. I've never done this, but he left his light on in the bedroom, and he was going to be gone for not even like the afternoon. He was going to be gone for multiple days. So I went to go turn off his lights in his bedroom, and as soon as I walked in there, 3 cockroaches were on the wall, and I almost vomited. Fucking threw my shoes at them, just hoping that
That's
it might
dumb,
go through
dude.
the
Now you're
plastic.
exposed to the elements in this.
No.
Like,
I went and got more shoes. I went and got my whole closet full of shoes, and it was ammo.
Oh.
I was wearing my shoes. I went and put on boots, actually. Like, if we're being 100% honest, I went and put on my work boots, and then went and got my shoes to throw. Ugh.
Honestly, I have a hard time even using my shoes. I'm like, oh, now I have to disinfect the bottom of my shoe. Like
At
I
that
don't know.
point,
they're that gross to me.
I've used hats. I've used a hat to kill cockroaches, and like at the end of the day, it's on the outside of the hat, so I'll put it on as long as there's not a stain. It's yellow. But part of
If
it,
it's a stain that's a different color, is it okay or what?
if it blends in, sure, why not?
I'm just gonna start jerking off on your hats now.
Please
Ooh,
don't.
interesting.
They're already white from sweat. Don't do that with cute
Well,
jizz.
you wouldn't be able to
Great,
know.
yeah, exactly.
I know.
couldn't tell.
Yeah, Paxton, is that jizz on your hat? Like, well, now I don't know. Up at every other time you would have asked, I would have said, no, I know for a fact it's not cum. But now I have no
See
idea.
a little bit on
Yeah.
that.
No, I just sweat too much. I'm a sweaty little...
No, I just
definitely looks like jizz.
I know. Have you been did you say you were going to start doing this because you've been doing this for 3 months?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, God. I've been doing bull rock baths and everything, and that's why it's not working. What was that? Fucking
I don't know.
something with rats.
Cockroaches.
It was because, and they were the huge cockroaches, which I found out wasn't because of, like...
Those are actually better.
Those are better
Those are
because
better.
they're not because... They don't mean you're
Better in
dirty.
what
Right.
way?
So there's the
The bigger
basically
they
what we
are-
call in Texas as cockroaches are really like a water bug of some sort.
Right, yeah.
And they are like a
They're
type
attracted
of
to it.
cockroach, but they're like way more similar to a beetle essentially.
Yeah, and they're huge, and they're actually called a
huge.
German beetle. I was talking to the exterminator.
The German, that's the bad one. The
German cockroaches
German
are the
cockroaches
small.
are the bad one.
Oh, the
Yeah,
bad
they're
one that
small.
means you're gross.
Yeah,
and
they're
dirty. Okay.
small, they're gray, and they basically mean that you've got problems.
Oh, I thought those were silverfish.
The only time
like this small, like is
the
like
real
that big?
no, like
I thought
probably like the size of
ones-
my thumb.
Okay, because I've had the really small silverfish that live in water that come up out of my sewer drains a couple
That's
of times.
different.
But I've
That's
gotten rid of
different.
that.
The like
Not really.
water bug style cockroach we have in Texas are like kind of brown and I'm probably exaggerating, but I swear I've seen some that are like the size of my phone. Like they get real big.
The one on Dante's wall was
But those are traditionally attracted to like a source of shelter, right? Like, or water.
about that size. Yeah.
The German
Water and
cockroaches
dampen-
are the like problematic ones. Like if you ever go to like a hotel room or whatever and you see any signs of that, like you are in a shisty place. Get the fuck
Yeah,
out.
And-
that's like
and-
hygiene problems.
Yes,
going
big
on.
time hygiene problems,
And-
and the type of thing that you could get on you and then bring with you other places.
Right. And my bigger thing with, and it lines up both with cockroaches and rats and why I hate them, with rat, and not even mice, but with rats and cockroaches alone, if there's 1 million. And that's what terrifies me.
And they produce so quickly.
So quickly, yeah.
Like you, it's so hard to get. Like the whole attic rat thing I had to deal with. Like I somehow won that situation, but I mean there was a point where I'm like, well, I guess they just own the house now. Like, do I sign the deed over, or like I don't know how this works with the bank? Do they take over on the mortgage, or do I just have to pay? Like
Roof rats
they're
were
like
terrifying.
cucking me in
when
my
I-
own house, basically. But like,
When I first moved into this house, like when you came here for the first time, if you thought that was bad, I mean, just I'm not throwing any shade at her, especially because she's dead and you don't speak ill of the dead. But when my Nana was living here, she was I think when she was living here, she was 93. She was a 93-year-old woman that had terrible mobility, so everything had to be right next to her bed and right next to her chair out here in the living room. And everything else was just a pathway that she made full of hoarding shit because she didn't have the strength to go outside and throw it in the trash can.
and that's a different situation. Like that's
with-
we love grandma and love to give her all the help she needs.
I did
but-
want to stick a pencil in an electrical socket to burn this place to the fucking ground when I
Sure,
first moved
that
in.
would have been a nice insurance claim if no one caught you.
and a whole bunch of work I didn't have to do.
Sure.
Oh God. I mean, I've told everyone to, and such an exuberant extent at this point, but there was carpet around the bathtub and toilet in the master bathroom.
What a strange choice they made. I
She
want to
had
say it was
green
like
carpeting.
a 1980s like decision that they went with for a while,
Yeah,
where it's
we
like
Mm-hmm.
you carpet around the toilet. Like, dude, like I'm even.
It's gonna
like,
pick up all the pee.
The most
yeah,
careful
it's gonna get
dude
all of
is
the pee.
still peeing a little bit off the toilet. Sometimes it happens.
Even if, like
You
if
get like
you're-
the double stream thing occasionally. You don't expect it. Like,
How did I
it
miss the toilet
happens, bro.
entirely?
Yeah.
Not one
How did I
stream
pee
didn't
in the
even go
shower
in?
and the sink at the same time? That's wild.
Like, wait, you're
Honey!
getting double
Honey,
streams
come look!
without
Yeah.
having a Prince Albert? Like, what?
I'm a
Am I
wire
learning
phone.
new stuff here?
Yeah, it happens sometimes. Like
I've heard Tommy Lee talk about that, and it's kind of a bitch when you take the Prince Albert out. So after you get a Prince Albert, you kind of just leave it in because it plugs up the remaining hole so you can pee normal. But when you take it out, you actually have to like plug the bottom hole to pee normal. Like it's a fucking
it's
pipe.
like the reverse of a car.
Because now he's dating.
Which think about how funny that is at a party, though.
Plug in the main hole. What does he come out the bottom like a fucking hosset on a bathtub?
You remember that super soaker they sold, like where it was like it worked like a regular super soaker, but then like if you surrendered, it had the secret shot that came out of the bottom. Yeah,
Like, was that Die Hard when he had it back here?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was the fucking first water
duct
gun
tape
version
to
of
his
that.
back. Yeah.
That's so great. So Blake, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured we were out of time. So I don't. Oh, I did bring my phone. I need to make sure and do some actual plugging this time because I'm finally being good and getting booked. So first thing, thank you all so much for coming on. This was an awesome episode. This was a very fun episode, and I'm glad that you're finally getting some light outside of what people know you from? Because right now, comedians know you for sure, and everyone knows that I keep bringing up Denton Comedy Spot to comedians.
Thank you.
But now, hopefully, we're getting it to people that are looking to go do things that maybe they're around Denton, maybe they're in fucking Pennsylvania, whether they, wherever they are, fucking vacation to Denton. It's a cool
Right.
place.
Yeah.
Come there for 3 days and go to Graffiti Pasta on a Saturday.
Yeah,
Same cannot be said for
I put my
Pennsylvania.
shows on. I put my shows on Discover Denton calendar. So
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we get some of those come through.
I heard Jacob talk really good about that because he's on there with Dusty's. He said
Yeah.
like
No,
it's the
people
only
really-
reason they ever get anything is because they're on the Discover Denton part.
Yeah,
'Cause
I found
otherwise-
out it's real effective.
Right, yeah. Otherwise,
And
no
it's
one's
free,
coming
which
out
is
to a Sunday night mic at 10 p.m. But so if you will go ahead and plug up your social handles. Oh, you know what? We're gonna do something different this time, right? We're gonna try with the solo promos.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and plug up at the end because mine's different, and then we'll cut a promo separately for something else.
Yeah.
But coming up, I'm at the Plano House of Comedy this Tuesday. This probably won't be out, but this won't be out by then. But this Tuesday, I'm at the Triple Threat. My first time being actually on the roster, not a bucket pull, so that's pretty cool.
This is just for the DeLorean owners out there.
This is just so I can tell people I'm actually doing things, so my parents don't think I'm just lying and saying I'm doing comedy still. So after that, September 15th, I'm at a riff show at Big Laugh Comedy Club. I've been waiting to go. It's my first opportunity to be at Big Laugh, a brand new comedy club here in Fort Worth. And Russ Jenkins is putting that on, your booker, at Big Laugh. And he's got a little side show that he's trying out with a riff show. So he's on that one. So I'm glad that he's...
Well, actually, Russ is moving on to bigger things, but
Oh, is he?
But love Russ, and so yeah.
Oh, good
I
for
mean,
him.
still-
Unless I brought up something bad, then fuck you, Russ. But don't take me off your show.
no, he's.
But
is.
I've got the riff show the 15th of September. Then, if any of y'all are in Tyler for whatever reason, October 11th, I am back in Tyler for an actual showcase show on the Friday. I just got to go down and do. They're doing showcases at the end of the mics on Monday nights, and I was supposed to be a feature, and then Kinsey Ford, I'm gonna say it, thankfully dropped out. I love you, Kinsey. You're awesome, but thank you. I got to do 20 minutes and got paid more. So
Hell yeah, dude.
that's an ultimate win. And that was awesome. And now they're bringing me back October 11th for a showcase show, and then
Friday Night Fresh.
Hell
yeah,
and then look at this. Denton Comedy Spot on October 19th. I'll be hosting a Graffiti Pasta for Noah Shark headlining. So I can't wait for that show. So y'all come out to Graffiti Pasta
That should be
October the
fun.
19th. And then I'll go ahead and let y'all solo promo because I got to tinkle like a little girl. So I'm going to walk past and y'all go ahead and cut up any promo you may need for marketing purposes.
Okay.
And other than that, I need to close out before I do that because then I'll just be walking off and leaving them on my fucking podcast. So thank you so much for watching another episode of the Dingbat District, and keep on coming back. We've got Mr. Most Days Off, Miles here, coming back and returning with us. Thanks for coming on, buddy. And we've got Lauren Upchurch. So y'all please go follow them on Instagram and Facebook for any things they may have and be posting. Go watch them. Go watch their things that they put on. And other than that, thanks for coming back. Bye.
Bye.